Okay, it's 6:32. I'll call the monthly council meeting to order. Roll call. Becky Tobin, Ron Chapman, Bernice Kimmy, and Edwin Hempstead. Two positions are vacant at this point in time. We'll do the pledge of allegiance.
The United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm three of them.
We have the agenda on
Four.
the only thing that they make it in here is under the council report. I'm just going to have that.
Report under what?
Under reports.
Okay, council report.
And changes will have that on the agenda.
Was I added? Oh, yeah.
And we go right into public comments. Do you have the public comment?
I do.
Not the public hearing one, but
You have public comment.
10 minutes.
Miss Moon.
Hi, I'm Debbie Moon. I own the building at 232 Mineral Ave. While I believe your choice for this evening for appointment of town council members is clear in April, I thought that too. At that time, you didn't choose the candidate with experience and the candidate that the citizens in town had actually elected. I am, however, pleasantly surprised that Mr. Hempstead is doing a great job. I may not always agree with him, but I like that he's outspoken and asks questions. He has an opinion of his own. You have a choice today. Of the three candidates, two have resigned from their seats. McCarthy resigned due to stress and not having time, later changed her mind, yet didn't show up for the last meeting where the candidate spoke to you regarding why they wanted your vote. Mr. Spedden is blaming a former attorney for missing the ballot deadline. He resigned from his current seat and worked the system by applying for the other seat. Doing so leaves two vacancies for tonight. Two vacancies due to resignations by people that have changed their minds. Two vacancies where items on today's agenda require discussions and voting, including monthly bills being paid. Ms. Von Arb gave a clear and concise outline as to why she wants on council, along with her values and goals. She stressed working with the council and for the citizens. She brings a fresh perspective and hands down would be personally my choice. We know that one of you will vote for a person that you endorsed at the last meeting. One of you will vote for a friend. One of you may choose someone new. This leaves one vote. Will you choose a friend, a new perspective, or stack the votes at the table? Time will tell. Thank you.
Miss Von Arb.
Will we all be speaking later, the candidates or not?
We can certainly allow you to speak if you want to speak as your last pitch before the council.
Let me go for it. Good evening, everybody. Mayor, council people. I just want to remind everybody that I am fully focused on being part of this town council. I see a need for someone like me, someone who wants to make sure that we all respect one another, that we're treated fairly, and we are looking for the best of the town and not just what we want, and that we're all open to listen to each other and, be respectful, have integrity, and be who we should be. Joanna Von Arb for council.
Anything else on that list?
We do, but before we go,
Yep.
did we make a motion to accept the agenda packet?
Oh. Thank you for, we didn't have a motion to accept the agenda. Do I have a second? Everybody's ready?
Okay, thank you. Okay,
Feel free to jump in there a little sooner.
sorry, I got a lot going on over here. Miss McGee?
Hi, I'm Rebecca McGee. I live at 714 St. Francis Avenue. I'm concerned about the code in which to elect a new council seat. As I read the code, it says resume and any other materials. It does not say are any other materials. Y'all took it upon yourselves to say, hey, we'll accept the letters. Is that against the law? You don't have a lawyer to advise you. So are y'all breaking the law tonight? I think you need to have a lawyer. I may be wrong. To me, and are the two key words here. And you may be breaking the law. I'm not sure. And I may be, like I said, I may be wrong. All right, Mr. Hempstead, the other night, you said, AJ said that he was going to start breaking ground. I just listened to it before I left. He has never said that. I don't know where you get your information from, but it's not true. So he is furious that you said that in open meeting, and I don't blame him. That's his livelihood. Nobody told you that. His employees are very loyal, and they would not make up something. And I already found out about the public hearing about it not being in the central. It was in the Richmond Times patch, which I think it should be put into the central if it's a time of spring. I don't know, but these things need to be taken because I wanted to read about what it said. What building are we talking about? What land are we talking about? Everybody is guessing instead of it being in the central where it should be. Whose fault? I don't know. It did get in the paper, but who reads the Times Dispatch? So, we don't have any information about what's going on. So whether or not you do this tonight, I'm not even sure if you should, because the public really has no idea what land, nothing. We're just guessing. Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
We do.
Can sign up, but people compelled to.
I have more.
Oh,
Yep.
all right.
Look like W. Thomas or N. Thomas.
Well, I was gonna do that one which one. I would in terms of land. Split.
For the
public hearings.
Okay, you're on both, so you don't want to do a public comment at. Okay.
I just.
It's okay. And just Barbara.
I just need some information on the stuff. Home address and his phone number.
Mr. Who? Mr. Who?
Morgan, Ron, the landowner of the property.
Okay.
He's dead.
Property.
He's dead. He's dead. That's what somebody told me.
So we're talking Ron Morgan that owns the school property?
Yes.
I'll get the manager to get that to you.
Okay. Didn't he die?
No,
I was told today he died.
no,
What?
he's alive.
Okay.
Do you want to put your email on here and we can email it to you or?
I'll give you my.
Okay.
All right. Can I get it tonight? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's the last for public comment.
Anybody else? Just public comments, not for the public.
We need her information.
Who's gonna give it to?
Okay, of course. Comment?
Jen.
Council, you have
She's
Minutes.
counting.
In front of you, June 18th, 2024. We're looking for any changes, corrections, deletions, and
Motion to approve as presented.
we have a motion by Ron to approve the June 18th, 2024 minutes.
Second.
I have a second by Dr. Covett and Mr. Hanson.
Yes.
Springs,
Yes.
Bob, and Dr. Covett.
Yes.
I'll then direct your attention to July 2nd, 2024 minutes.
Make motions now.
I have a motion by Ms. Cuby to approve the July 2nd, 2024 minutes. I have a second by Ron. Dr. Covett,
Yes.
Ron,
Yes.
Bernice. Okay. Direct your attention to accounts paid. You should have in the, either in the packet or as a handout that is adjacent to it. Summary of the accounts paid from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th of 2025.
So I have.
Can I explain it? Here you go. I give her. So I'll explain these just because this is the first report from our new financial management software that we've pulled. The reason why we go through June 30th, 2025 is because that's the end of the fiscal year. So it's collecting all bills from the point in time that we paid from the start of the budget, which this would be July 1 to the end. So everything that we've paid, and it should be sorted by month. This one probably didn't get sorted by month, but we're trying to keep them sorted by month. You can see them. You'll be able to see them. We have the invoice and the check. If anyone knows financial software, you know that you'll have multiple lines. So we took out things that would be confusing. And this just shows you the invoice and the check that goes with the accounts that were paid. And this is what it will look like going forward. This is what our reports will look like.
So will we get just the current month moving forward?
I'll sort them so you'll have the current month at the top.
We're at the whole year to date every month. Okay, thank you.
Would it be wise to put it against the budget?
We're working on it. Yep, we're working on that. We're still dealing with the software itself. We have stuff that's taken place and we're working with our software company. But we will do that, yes.
You to continue talking, and so we have a handout here on the accounts page report.
Yeah, hold on. You have the accounts paid report. I explained the date range. It says next month, the accounts paid will start October 15th. I'm going to list them out from the beginning of the fiscal year to the end, and they'll be sorted by month. So you'll see them.
Any couple of any questions? I need a motion to accept the accounts paid. We have a motion by Ron to accept the accounts paid. I have a second. Gibby. Hanson? Yes. Denise? Yes. Dr. Taylor?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Going to the credits, that is the company report. I'm going to turn it over to the vice mayor.
All right, I hope you can all hear me. I'm going to try to speak as loud as I can. Resolution for censure of council member David Hempstead. Resolution is 2024-010. Whereas the members of the Mineral Town Council had an opportunity to review emails and address reprehensible behavior of appointed councilman David Hempstead. Whereas appointed councilman Hempstead has conducted himself in a less than professional manner, and even after several opportunities to address and correct said behavior, has continued to harass and demean town of Mineral staff, including the town manager, the town clerk, the treasurer, and fellow members of council, opening the town to potential litigation for creating a hostile work environment. Whereas appointed councilmember Hempstead has written several abusive emails to town staff demanding actions be taken that are in direct opposition of the will and vote of the Mineral Town Council, Councilman Hempstead continues to be argumentative with staff and fellow members of council. Hempstead has ignored the protocol of council to use only the town assigned email address in relation to town business and continues to send emails from his personal email address. Further, after being informed that he should not be addressing emails to the entire council per VA FOIA recommendation, as more than 3 recipients can be considered a meeting, Title 2.2, Chapter 37 of the Code of Virginia. Whereas Councilman Hempstead has provided documents that were given to him in closed session, provided under 2.2-3700 Code of Virginia, Freedom of Information Act, to the public without authorization, while those documents were still being reviewed in closed session as part of a contract negotiation, jeopardizing the town's strength in said negotiation. Whereas appointed Councilman Hempstead has continued to assert that the town council is likely unaware of its role and responsibility while continuing to overstep his role as a member of council, crossing the line between legislative and executive responsibility. Whereas the town council voted on action to be taken regarding 14 home development on 8th Street, and Councilman Hempstead has continued to harass and demand additional actions be taken through direct communication with the town manager, demanding that she perform actions that would not comply with the majority vote of the council. Hempstead abstained from voting on the subject and then continued to argue against council and staff. Whereas appointed Councilman Hempstead has demanded that town staff provide proof directly to him in regards to their qualification, using demeaning and unprofessional tactics to assert that the staff is not working hard enough. Hempstead asserts that it is his responsibility to ensure qualifications are adequate for you to do your jobs. Hempstead has failed to understand that the staff has already been vetted and more than meets the qualifications required to perform their individual responsibilities. Hempstead further fails to understand that the town staff does not work for any one individual on council, but for the body as a whole. No member of the council has authority to demand anything or direct staff in any way. Now, therefore, be it resolved that appointed Councilman Hempstead is hereby censured by the Mineral Town Council for his continued abuse of town staff and fellow council. The Mineral Town Council condemns his use of emails to berate and abuse town staff, and further condemns his communication style, which can open the town to legal ramifications, including a hostile work environment suit. Be it further resolved that Councilman Hempstead is hereby directed by the Mineral Town Council to 1. Cease and desist all communication with town staff. All further communication must be directed through the mayor or relevant committee chair. 2. Councilman Hempstead will apologize in writing to the town staff for conduct unbecoming a member of town council. That apology should be submitted in writing through the mayor within 48 hours. Be it finally resolved that the Mineral Town Council does not condone abusive behavior from any member of council. and will not tolerate deliberate and continued abuse of any member of the staff or council. The Town of Mineral Council has adopted a civility pledge, and as members of council and its members of council and staff are expected to abide by this pledge. While the council welcomes healthy debate, it does not abide inappropriate and demeaning behavior from any of its body. Our job is to uplift the town and its agents and representatives, not demean and discourage.
Point of order. Freedom of Information Act. I call.
Mr. Mayor, a censured
You
member.
cannot interrupt when I do a point of order. You cannot interrupt. Would you like to read Robert's Rules of Order? You cannot interrupt.
Stand by, let's do.
I get to speak when he's put all these allegations on me.
Once the vote.
I have a point of order. No one may interrupt while I'm speaking.
Unless I give you the point of order.
No, that's not. You want to check here? Show me where it says it in Roberts. Show me where it says. Show me where it says. I am going by Robert's Rule of Orders.
Mr. Hempstead.
No, I get a chance to speak. Robert's Rule of Order.
It's been long. Please escort him along.
All right, Constitution of Virginia. How about that? You want to do it? I am acting as per the Constitution of Virginia.
I understand.
I'm acting per the way this council works, by Robert's Rules of Order. I have a right to speak.
Yeah, I don't speak in the way that the council is requesting of.
No, they have to go by Robert's Rules of Order and the state constitution.
Commissioner said, if you want you to leave, you need to leave. I do not want to put your handcuffs to make it.
You know what? I'm going to hand out the FOIA rules to everybody before I leave.
We have them. I don't think we-
No, I don't think you do.
That's you.
And also,
wrong.
Virginia Constitution, may I read?
They want you to leave.
No.
Virginia Constitution says,
Mr. Hempstead.
under Tillman law,
Mr. Hempstead.
not enact any assembly, special, private law in those cases. You can't do it. You're breaking the law. You're breaking Virginia Constitution. And you're breaking Robert's Rules of Order. And I will be taking this to the state attorney general. Count on it. FOIA violation, making first violation is $500.
Mr. Hempstead, come on. Come on.
Second violation is anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. Do y'all want that? Let's go. And you can't go into closed session to vote for the interim appointment against FOIA rules. Read what I've just handed you.
You weren't finished, correct? He didn't get to speak because he didn't know. That's why his point of order wasn't acknowledged. He was fixed. You got to fix it. That
We should remember. Get censured.
it's bad after.
So you.
With all the powers I have.
I'll get to you.
Oh, you got it.
All right. I apologize. So go.
So I would explain to the public as they're now seeing the censure. Over the weekend, we received several emails on a personal email account, not a town issued email account, berating the town staff, telling them that they were worthless and that they did not know how to do their jobs and that they had to submit documentation proving their credentials to a single member of council. That is far, far outside the realm of any member of council. None of us have the authority to do that, nor should any of us feel that that's a necessary action to take. So over the weekend, we did, as a council, discuss censuring such behavior as it is inappropriate.
I guess my only comment, what I would say is when you spoke to council, you spoke to council individually.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, we did not meet. And it would be under the 3-person rule anyway, because then you have 3 people left.
Well, according to the town charter, you only need 3 people to have a quorum.
Oh, I meant for conducting this, it would have been, yeah, it would have not had a violation. Because it was one-on-one communication.
I guess, do I need to ask for a motion for that, Spencer, or is that just,
We have to vote to approve the resolution.
okay?
I motion that we approve resolution 2024-010 dated October 15th.
Okay, I have a motion on the resolution by Ron, and I need a second.
I will second.
Dr. Covett, second, and now, all the members, Bernice, yes? Ron?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, we vote, show that Mr. Hempstead is no longer in his post. Make that part of the official record.
And now would be the ordinary time that someone could respond to the censure.
Yeah.
Now would be that time to respond to the censure would be, and that's, part of. We just want you to understand why it was right,
Right.
so that, because now would be the time to.
Obviously, I'm happy. Utilities.
I just briefly, Louisa has reached out to us and I'll let them bring it up to speed, but, just wants to put us in the planning of water, for our town, and letting us participate in a small way. The other thing is the lead pipe investigations are going on. They came to my house and were perfectly lovely, people and did a quick, wonderful job. And I haven't heard anything negative from any town member on the lead investigation going on. I think it's going along beautifully. And, Nicole here is heading that up. It's done a wonderful job at it. And the only other thing is the application is still going on, the one that we had discussed earlier. But we are waiting on a manhole because, you can't buy them at Home Depot. So we had to order one specific to what we want, and it takes time. And we're, in line for some construction work. So that's in the works. And she's gotten our water leaks back to like about 30, back to 35%, 36, somewhere around there. They had estimated, their pros had told us we were right at 50, maybe a little above when they first started a few months ago. And just, catching the leaks. And now we have town members that are calling and said, hey, we got a leak. And that's never happened before. People are starting to participate and take respect and be interested in it. And it's wonderful because it's going to pay off for everybody. So I want to give Nicole a lot of credit for that. And, catching these things, talking to neighbors and continue to everybody to encourage you to participate and talk to your neighbors about, water and water leaks and whatever we can do to save money on water so we can use the rest for infrastructure.
Have we had any reports of lead findings at all up to this point?
So they just finished their inventory and are sending off to VDH. We're having a meeting next week to discuss all of the findings and everything that's going on. I don't think there's any lead findings or copper in here. If there are, it's very few, but I haven't heard any. There were a couple residents that had ruts in their yards and things dug up and they tried to put them back. Hank he'll come out and I've asked him to try to fix where he feels like there are things that are messed up. But we had to get another company that consults on this and does this for a living. And they have a contractor that they use to dig up and look for the pipes. So they try to put everything back the proper way. Hank will try to help seed and do everything so that we can get yards back to looking the way they were.
Okay.
We'll have a bigger report in November. Also with the usage numbers and the percentage of loss, how it has gone down. So we'll have that in November as well.
Do you want to mention at all about the meeting
Today. today's meeting?
Just a synopsis of
Yeah, so we met with the county,
administrative.
the administration. So the towns feed into the county, right? The county basically is our big brother. And we have to, everything that the town does, whether it's the town of Mineral or the town of Louisa, it feeds into Louisa County as a whole in their government. And so the more development we have, the more expense it is to the county. The more houses we build, the more the school system gets affected, the more the landfill gets affected, the more the, public safety gets affected. Everything is affected to the county. It doesn't really affect us. It does, but not to the extent that it does the county. So they took this opportunity specific for water and sewer specifically to talk about better planning and having a 5, 10, 15-year plan for us to help plan out what we're, as a town, what we are going to see. We have a whole area in green, as you see on the zoning map, that is our huge plan unit development area. The plan where it's 78 acres and someone can come in and develop houses or commercial space or what have you. So how are we going to plan to be able to accommodate all of this development on top of, the random, 1, 2, 3, 4 houses that are being built as well? So that's what we're working with the county. We're going to continue to have a strategic planning meeting to discuss the avenues to take. How can Mineral get to this place where we need to update our infrastructure? We need to look at our pipes and what size these pipes need to be. How are we going to accommodate that? So this is what this is for. And it's good that we're doing this with the county because everything that we do affects them and everything that they do with the water and sewer will affect us. So we have to plan. And that's what that meeting was for today.
Says,
I have one more thing real quick.
so
We got this grant money and, it's only took 6 weeks for them to do it. It was amazing. But there was so much left over. And she was able to get us GIS for a year, which means that, we had it for our land, you can see online our land lines, but we don't have it for our, our water lines, our sewer lines, our manholes, our cemetery, who's buried where. We're not on GIS for any of that. So she was able to add that onto, using our grant money. We got that in 6 months for a year and get ourselves set up on it. So that's happening now too. And that's pretty amazing.
and who is she?
I'm sorry, Nicole here. Our town manager, and I just want to acknowledge that that was a special effort and that we got it. It's expensive stuff, and we had talked about kind of leeching onto the county, but then they're in charge of how we do it, when we do it, that kind of thing. And so now we're actually going to be able to print out maps of our sewer system, our water system, right now we have a notebook page list from Hank's father of our manholes. That is literally, so this is a big jump for our town. And we were able to get that money funded by the 100%. So that was amazing. So
Thank you. Town manager, zoning administrator's report.
So I'm just I jot down stuff on my summary report. I don't write paragraphs. So, meetings that we're going to start doing, we're going to try to live stream the meetings so that they're not just recorded, but you can actually see them when they're happening at your house if you can't attend the meetings. Business spotlight is something that I want to talk about adding to the meeting, which is having a business in town come and just kind of talk about being a business in the town of Mineral. Maybe there's a business that wants to be in the town of Mineral and they want to come and talk about what they want to do. So I want to start adding these to the meetings. I think it's important to build that relationship with our businesses. FOIA. So we're getting a lot of FOIA requests. And some of these FOIA requests take a lot of time. Going forward, we are going to be charging for these FOIA requests just because depending on how much time the FOIA request is, because we have to stop what we're doing and we have to research and we have to copy and we have to do all of this stuff. So we will start looking at charging for the FOIA requests that come in. Personnel. So as far as the DMV goes, we had the DMV manager left and we have promoted the supervisor, which is Kendra Ellis, to the DMV manager. She accepted. So we'll be we're hiring another DMV clerk. We're in the process of looking at those resumes and scheduling phone interviews and interviews. And we'll, learn how to work through not having an extra body. So we're not going to hire, we had a DMV clerk that left for a better opportunity in a different county. We will not be replacing both DMV clerks. We will be replacing one, which, the town, just looking at it from a fiscal standpoint, we do not need multiple bodies in the DMV. Today was quite busy because we only had 2 people, but normally we have 3 people. When we hire the clerk, we'll have 3 full-time bodies and a part-time person as well as a title person. So we'll have enough to cover. I wanted to talk about like bonuses and raises. Something I'm looking at is maybe a possible holiday bonus or of some sort to the individuals that are working for the town. It's hard for the citizens to really see what all goes in to the DMV staff or the town staff and what they do. And they take on a lot of extra work. Sometimes they take multiple phone calls. We're asking a number of questions. We have to, it's our job. It is our job, but that's to show the, appreciation and gratification to them, so that we'll discuss that at some point. This is not extra money. This is money that's already in the budget. The other thing I wanted to look at was, I think we follow Louisa County's holiday schedule.
Yes.
I would like to propose either closing for New Year's Eve or having a half day. If the council would entertain that, just to give time. I think it's a Tuesday. Because it's New Year's Eve and, for people who are hosting and planning an event.
I don't think
It's a Tuesday. New Year's Eve is a Tuesday. New Year's Day is a Wednesday.
I forgot. I mean, I can't imagine there would be much demand on New Year's afternoon.
I've asked the DMV staff to talk with the employees. Well, I asked the manager to talk to the employees as well as our title vendors. We have one that comes on that day. They've worked out and said that they would be able to manage. She just drops work off and picks it up the next day. So.
Yeah, what is the schedule for the Christmas holiday currently? Are we closed? That's on the hearing stage. Are we closed?
So on Christmas Eve, I think we're closed, and I think there's I don't have half day on the 23rd.
Eve, and then closed Christmas Day.
I think it's closed on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I think we're half day.
Half day the 23rd, closed on the, yeah.
And so then you would come back.
And sometimes the board of supervisors will make an audible at the last moment
Right.
and make it.
I would say let's mimic, yeah.
Well, that's how we had it already.
And so they don't get
I mean, mimic the holiday week prior.
Oh.
So mimic the week of Christmas the following week. So it'd be a half day Monday, closed Tuesday and Wednesday.
closed Tuesday, Wednesday.
Does that sound, what do you guys think?
It's up to council.
So, okay, Tuesday, Wednesday is, usually,
Well, Wednesday we're closed because it's New Year's Day anyway.
Right. But that would give them half day Monday, the 2 weeks in a row, and then off Tuesday.
Well, we would work full day Monday just because it's the end of the month and they're trying to get their DMV stuff done. If that's okay. I mean, we prefer
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
You have a calendar.
So Tuesday is the 31st. I'm asking for a half day or a whole day. Yeah, I don't.
I motion to approve the the 31st and the 1st. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. The next thing on the list is an attorney. We have 2 resumes to review for our town attorney. We have not had, a lot of interest. I just think it's just because it's not, it's posted on the attorney, the LGA website, the VML website. That's what they use to look for. I don't think that's.
Hasn't been that long either.
No, it
Been a few
hasn't.
weeks and
But we do have two, and they were interested. One is fairly local. Water and sewer, there's, so a couple things. We're finding a couple little leaks. We're also planning for water and sewer at new residents that are in the town. And the town has to plan for that. We have to be able to provide that the water and the sewer. There is a leak at the Exxon station. It is a leak, I believe, that's located on their property. It's not town-related leak, so it is not on our side. We're not losing money, but the town is trying to help them mitigate their leak for their.
So just a comment.
Yeah.
2 years ago, they had the same leak
It's the same leak.
and we determined it was underneath the
Yes.
concrete.
It's the same one. And so they've been looking into this because, their bill's just skyrocketing. So there has been a suggestion that we have an old meter that the town is not using that we could, recycle and put on for them. I don't know that it's going to help stop the leak. If it needs to have a new setter, then they would be paying for the setter, not the town. And Hank said he would just do that and put it on for them. So we're working with them to see if that will help. We're trying to help the business. So. Let's see. So this summary that I've talked about the sewer was they were still field verifying some stuff. It really isn't about the sewer. It's more about just the water and stuff. It's under sewer for whatever reason. But this has to do with we talked about already, which was the lead and copper. They've finished, and there has been no negative claims this far. I will have a meeting with them this week, and we'll have a full report in November.
what is the part that says our approved? To finish looking.
So we had an approved budget of 100. They were coming in under that, but they needed, in order to finish all of the 300, they needed the rest of the money. We had already approved the 100. So they were coming in under that and asked about having to increase to the original budget that was approved. The 100.
Oh, okay. You're not talking about the lead service.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. But the state is going to up it, right? The amount.
Yeah, so they've done all of that.
Okay, yeah. Because Tamara said she would increase it.
Yeah, it's increased.
We weren't paying.
No, we're
The state paying it. Okay, good.
So on the IT side, we have a new IT firm that will be assisting the town. We're going to be transitioning to Microsoft 365 and Outlook. Right now, the town is currently on Google. Google is not sufficient enough for a business. It does not have the security that it needs. It is susceptible to hackers and whatever else comes along. So we will be moving. We do have a good IT firm, consulting firm that will be taking care of that for us. The audit. So I heard back from the auditors. Our accountant firm did a reconciliation for FY22. The auditors were quiet and did not say a lot until recently when they said that they needed more information from us to finish the audit for 2022. And they sent boxes apparently that were sent to them, they sent back to the town. So I'm having to dig along with staff, are having to dig through boxes and find all of this information because it is not saved electronically. So we are in the process of digging through papers to find and submit to them the requests that they're asking for, like the 941, payroll tax information and, financial information and contracts. So we are doing that, and it is a lot of work to research through these two boxes. After we get this audit done, we will then move to FY '23. We can't move to FY '23 until the FY '22 audit is done. And we can then do the reconciliation for FY '23 and then the audit, and then we're 24. So hopefully by next fiscal year, all the audits will be done. But I don't know. It's whatever they're asking for and they can do in their time frame. Mind you, they're continuing to do their own work and follow their schedule. So they have a schedule they have to follow. They can't just do our stuff and forget about their own schedule. So they're feeding us into their schedule. Let's see, fee structure. As we move into thinking about our next fiscal year, I would like council to ponder the idea of increasing certain fees for development and review, and we'll come up with a market value for these fees. Roof repairs. So we had our building that we own, the town owns, at 102 East First Street is being leased to education nonprofit robotics school club. And there's a major leak in the building. When it rained for 2 weeks straight, water was pouring down the walls of the building. So we went in there and cleaned it up, and I got an estimate for repair. This money was in the budget under asset management. And the leak has been repaired. The estimate is going to be under $15,000. I'm waiting for the final invoice to come in. But we did get that fixed. They replaced some of the metal. I have pictures I'll save and have all that for us to review. They scraped the metal, they sealed it, taped it, screwed it down, and then resealed it again and putting waterproofing on it, et cetera, so that it preserves the roof. There's a parade coming. Every year there's the hometown parade on October 24th this year at 5:30. The streets, I guess, will be closed. I don't know what we're going to do about town hall. It usually closes at 4:30. I don't know what time the streets are closing.
It's usually 15 minutes before.
Okay, all right. So they'll have time to get out of there. Some other events around town that have happened or we're talking about. So Constitution Day was supposed to happen. It was one of those rainy days. It got moved to the Art Center. We took, Stephanie took, we had snacks for the kids. We took that to the Art Center and gave them out to the kids so that they didn't miss that. So we have a Christmas event that we're planning. We'll continue from what the Historic Foundation was doing. So we're going to do a tree lighting. The tree has been ordered. It'll be delivered on December 2nd. The tree lighting is scheduled for the 13th. I think it's the 13th.
The 13th.
The 13th of December. We will be giving out some flyers. We're doing kind of like a light show, Christmas decoration, where residents are doing their, do your lights and you can get judged. You have to sign up for it so we know who's participating. Businesses will do the same if they want to participate. Someone will get a small trophy, and we plan on having a plaque that says who the winners are for the decorations. We'd like to get the town involved and the citizens and community involved and being more involved in some of our activities that we're doing. During the tree lighting event on the 13th, we'll have some, food, cookies, hot chocolate. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just had a suggestion. We have 4 churches here. Why don't we throw in a carol thing too?
Okay, that sounds good.
Just thought, the churches are there, the choirs are there. Why not get a little participation too?
Thank you. And we will, and I'm working with Dominion to get the snowflakes that go all the way up and down Mineral Avenue, this one side, but make sure we have them all the way up and down Mineral Avenue. I'm trying to get them to approve us having garland that wrap the poles from the snowflakes get some more lighting. We're going to light up and decorate the front of the building and the fence along the parking lot, put the tree in the parking lot. We're going to put the nativity scene over by the, instead of eye doctor, over by the eye doctor where it normally is. Want to continue to build this event so that it becomes bigger and bigger every year. Yeah.
Why not put it in the park? It would accommodate more people around the tree.
Right.
No electricity.
Yep. There's no electricity.
Okay. But some of
It's
these,
a good idea. And we should look at that. And we probably could have Dominion put some
And like festivals.
electric. Yes. Yep.
We do have the holiday market, the holiday market's happening. So,
The holiday market. When is that?
now that's the hard question. I'll have an answer for you before you finish today.
Okay, that's fine.
Set them in the parking
The tree lighting is at 7:30.
I have a flyer. It just has not gone out yet, and I don't remember off the top of my head.
The tree lighting is at 7:30, but we'll start.
Yeah, we have
But
flyers.
we'll start the events, we'll have people here. Country Boys is coming.
They're supposed
They're supposed to come and do their food truck. We're trying to get some more food trucks to come down and be here so that you can have, buy food or whatever. Let's see. Oh, we received another plat review for the PUD. I'm in the process of reviewing. That's the PUD.
That's the yellow in the back. It's not PUD. What is that? Just a tree?
No, that's more property.
But it's a tree. It's undeveloped. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know if it was part of it and just owned differently.
That's the PUD. So, the PUD is getting reviewed and we'll have this.
this lady has a business license. She has a food truck and she's supposed to be on business. We made one contact her.
And there's one that hangs out at the fire department over here. Is that her? Okay, I've heard really good things. I've heard really good things about this person.
I know.
The DMV report is in your packet.
Yeah.
Give you a minute to look at it. And if there's no comments, we'll go to the treasury report.
I don't think she ended up doing
I don't
with
think so.
circumstances.
With all the other stuff.
Yeah,
We already got all the payments.
yeah, and yeah, there's,
So make sure.
yep.
Okay, under the old business, direct your attention to approval of bylaw and celebrity edge. As you recall, last night, we this out, to look at it and stuff, and Ron, I'm gonna let you pick up with.
There's a revised version.
And there is a revised.
So you did make some revisions. Actually, at Councilman Colbert, Councilperson Crivets' request, we're gonna move to approve the bylaws as presented for 90 days. That's the water in Lincoln, and in the end of January. Sometime in January.
January 31st, let's have them expire unless we renew and whatever.
So in January, council will hold a work session to review them. Is that?
They're working for us.
And yeah, so we're gonna approve and present it and tweak in July, so 90 days. As revised.
Okay, then give me a motion.
So made.
Can we have a copy of that?
Yes. I don't have.
I don't have
The
the,
revised one?
Nicole.
She can have the copy.
no, you don't have the revised.
Copy for.
One we have isn't the revised. Okay.
I don't have to edit it.
I have one, but I wrote all
Are
it.
you not approving
I
the,
forget it sometimes. It doesn't.
are you not approving the one that's?
I'll bring one. I'll put one out and bring it tomorrow.
And when that thing,
I got it.
it's out
Yep.
there.
Yes.
A couple of corrections.
I got it. Yep.
Yeah, there's just, three more, I have a few more.
Okay, so there's been motion to approve for the next 90 days, the revised version of the bylaw standing rules of procedure. Are we
Approving the stability pledge also.
just separately, so I need a second for, Bernice has seconded the bylaw revised standing rules procedure. Vote, Dr. Colbert?
Yes.
Brian? And that's approved.
Now it's approved, you have to rotate the voters. The next time you have to start down because that's the rule.
So now, next on the agenda is the stability pledge and Ron and comments.
Do we have one? Or would somebody like to read it?
I had the civility pledge.
I'll read it out loud. So updating the already adopted civility pledge that the council took, years ago. Just adding a little bit more to it. So I'm going to read it out loud. Each member of the Mineral Town Council pledges by their signature below, individually and collectively, to practice and promote civility within the Mineral Town Council at all times, especially while in the mineral municipal building or on town property. The elected officials of the Mineral Town Council enact this civility pledge, intending to build a stronger and more prosperous community by advocating for positive civil engagement, respecting others and their viewpoints, and finding joint solutions for the betterment of our community. This pledge ensures that all communication, both spoken and written, shall be civil, open, honest, and transparent, as this is vital for cultivating trust and relationships. This pledge further ensures, that all This pledge further ensures mutual respect to achieve municipal goals, recognizing that patience, tolerance, cooperation, and stability is imperative to success. This pledge creates opportunities for finding common ground amongst individuals and engagement by all in civil discussion, seeking solutions through active listening and encouraging positive remarks and thoughtful participation. A copy of the most currently adopted and signed stability pledge shall be maintained in a council member's file, accessible for public inspection upon request.
Okay, so the council, I'll need a motion to either accept or deny. Sorry. Okay, Dr. Colbert has made a motion to accept the revised Mineral Town Council civility pledge. Does this have a time limit or?
No, this is just ongoing, but be revised.
I just want to make sure. And he has a second.
So me.
Ron makes a second and Bernice?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Okay.
Here's my side.
Thank you.
Yes, because this question or seems to bring it from voters.
I know, it's like the inner editor in me. That's what I went to. I just wish I could edit stuff.
Okay. Going back. Yeah. Scheduling a town hall meetings, discussion of scheduling town hall meetings. I don't know.
Is that, Nicole, because November 8th is Veterans Day?
I assume it is.
Town hall meeting is a town hall meeting where it's stated. That's rescheduling this meeting. Our first town hall meeting
Reverse. So
is reversed. They talk to questions and we listen and we talk back. We're not,
It's open forum.
It's open forum.
Yeah.
Holiday stuff.
and the two new seats have been.
Okay, so do you want to take this Or you just want to,
In January, let's,
I don't,
let's get it out there.
Thinking of doing it sooner. I don't know.
January.
Like they're
January. Yeah.
Because that way it'll be a full council. The remaining 2 seats will have been elected and it'll be a full council.
okay, so what's council's pleasure?
It's January 6th,
No,
No,
January 13th.
13th. So why don't we do it on the 6th?
Is that a holiday? Are you sure?
I had a hard time.
Or we could do it the
No,
20th.
the 16th is
Oh,
holiday.
okay, sorry.
Why don't we do the 20th? Because then we have the January meeting under wraps.
Okay.
Monday, the 20th.
the 20th is a holiday.
Martin Luther King. Sorry.
I knew there was one in there.
What about
Well,
the
the 16th is
27th?
birthday.
Oh, then we're getting, I'm just right.
Why don't you just do it Tuesday the 21st? Why does it have to be a Monday?
It doesn't have to be a Monday.
You want to do Tuesday?
It's a town hall meeting, so it can be the middle of the week. It can be,
There you go.
Yep.
We could do December.
That time, same bat channel.
Okay, so January 21st will be the first
21st.
21st.
one.
Tuesday
2-1.
at 6:30.
That's 6:30,
21st, 2025.
the first town hall meeting.
And so for the town hall meetings, are these going to be once a month?
So
Once a quarter?
Can we call this a reverse town hall? Because that is where the public gets to ask and we can answer.
It's just a town
is a town
hall.
hall.
That is a business. So the public just comes and it's open for them.
Okay, so do we have to have an agenda and all that?
No,
they have it.
No.
The agenda.
it's for the public to come and talk and ask questions.
And we do our best to answer as we can, but we will keep track of them and we'll get back to them. But then they can all also discuss among themselves, right?
Yes.
Yeah, y'all can talk about it yourselves and open up.
Okay, so we'll plan.
Now, are you doing this once a month, once a quarter?
I don't know.
I would say once a quarter.
Once a quarter.
Start there.
So
If
there.
people need more, we could
Okay,
increase.
once a quarter,
First one be January.
January 21st, 2025,
Okay,
6:30.
6:30.
And that time, same.
With pizza.
I don't think we really need a motion.
You don't?
Okay. So the next thing on the agenda is the council candidates. I'm going to give, again, any of the individuals that want to come up to speak specifically on your behalf to be able to come up, make your last pitch to council. If not, you don't need to, and just offering it out. Bob, come on down.
Good evening. The lady who made a comment about me resigning was due to the fact that I talked to the Louisa County Election Office and I was advised to resign my position in order to run for this one. The other thing is, as far as the resume, this keeps coming up all the time. For the majority of the time I was in the Air Force, I worked in highly classified information. And I'm not giving it out to anybody. I was in business for 42 years. We had 45 employees, men, women, people of all nationalities. Never had a problem. And I like to have an opportunity to prove myself here. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob, for your service. And I certainly can concur with what he mentioned in terms of the register said that for him to actually be able to be on this position, he had to resign the other one prior to it. So he took that advice and that's why he did that. So, Ms. Finn, one last time. I think Ellen is.
Sure, yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, council members, and the public in general. First, I'd like to start off by saying please excuse the casual dress. I spent the day preparing for an appeal, so had no appointments. And as many of you guys are aware, I'm usually coming back into town just in time to get here for the meetings and prioritize timeliness over vanity. So we'd just like to address that first off the bat. I would also like to speak as to my reason for why I had initially run for council in 2022. Prior to running, I had spent quite some time attending meetings in which I actively participated and voiced my concerns and my thoughts regarding the issues that were faced by the town at the time. And through doing that, as well as getting invested in my community by getting involved with community organizations, becoming a vendor at the farmers market and getting to know my neighbors, I grew concerned with the way that the town was operating, as many of us did. And I know that there was a group of us that began in an effort to change things, to change the town of Mineral from an organization or a town that ran off of the way that things had always been done and moved towards the way that things are meant to be done. There are a lot of reasons for that, some of which being relevant to opening the town up to litigation, but also just ensuring that the town is operating in its optimal ability to serve the residents, as we've discussed over the past 2 years that I've served on this council alongside some of you. Through that tenure of being on council, I do think that I've shown that I bring a unique perspective as well as a level-headed ability to thoughtfully consider the issues and voice my thoughts and concerns and engage in meaningful conversation in order to contribute to the conversation of the issues that are at hand. The main issues at hand that I see for the town are somewhat subcategorized into two different areas. The first of which being one that I already somewhat spoke to, in that, as we all know, the town does have a long history of not operating in the way that things should be done, but rather in the way that they've been passed down traditionally. And while traditional values and small town appeal is certainly important and part of what I think we all love and care about in the town of Mineral, making sure that we are doing things through the Virginia State Code, through the Code of the Town of Mineral, having solid legal advice in order to do those things, ensuring that our code is up to date and that we are striving towards increasing the transparency for our residents as well. That is an issue that has been raised to this council multiple times through my tenure on council, but also previously as well, and I agree with that. I think that that is something that we need to be actively working towards and ensuring that we're getting that community engagement. We are a small town, and so it's reasonable to expect that we can get more people to come out and voice their thoughts and their concerns and have an opinion about the things that are happening, because we operate at the behest of the town as it is. So that is the first category of the things that I see as really important. The other is relevant to our infrastructure and our desire for growth. The town has faced a couple of opportunities for growth, and now with people being interested in the PUD, that's a huge endeavor to take on, and it is a really good opportunity for the town and its residents. However, we need to make sure that we have the infrastructure in order to support it. And as many of you guys are aware already, the water system and some of the other pieces in town are just not in place in order to support that level and that type of development. And so that is the other piece that I think is incredibly important. I, like many of you sitting in this room, want to see the town of Mineral grow and progress, but we need to ensure that that growth doesn't end up handicapping the town itself and its citizens along the way. And I think that that is something that needs to be a main focus moving forward. With that being said, those are my two main issues that I think are the most important that the town is facing currently. But I would also like to say that in my tenure of nearly 2 years serving on this council, I do think that I have demonstrated my dedication and my willingness to work alongside the council, town staff, and residents in order to work towards those goals actively. I would also like to speak to the series of events that came to be as to why I'm standing here in front of you guys currently and why my seat is currently open. As some of you might be aware, and some of you, many of you may not, I work in social work, and it's something that I'm incredibly passionate about, but it is something that there are some days that are really challenging and they are emotional. And the day that I ended up making the decision to resign my seat, I had been working on an emergency case that was incredibly emotionally harrowing. That was a day that we had had a special meeting that had been called for the evening that I had planned on attending. Unfortunately, because of the way that that case that I was working on that day unfolded, it was not possible because I was in a situation that I simply could not walk away from. I work ensuring the health, safety, and well-being of children. And while this is important, that is also incredibly important. And sometimes there are emergencies that you simply cannot get away from. That was the situation that I found myself in on that day. And I got home around 8:45, 9 p.m., realizing that I had missed that meeting. And I felt incredibly guilty because I also cared very deeply about this town and the commitment that I made to it and the service that I had given to it. In that moment of being emotionally overwhelmed and exhausted from the workday and also feeling incredibly guilty about having missed that meeting, particularly without having the forethought to notify Mr. Mayor and the rest of the council as to the reason that I was not there. That was what led me to ultimately put that resignation in. It was done in a moment of haste and high emotionality, and it is a decision that I regretted. As I think all of you are aware, I did attempt to revoke my resignation, and initially we had gotten legal guidance that that was acceptable, and then afterwards found out that it's not. So I just wanted to put that out into the open so that everybody is aware of how that transcribed after no longer being in that moment of overwhelm and high emotionality. I feel confident that I do have the time and energy to dedicate to the seat that I was duly elected for on this council. And I do not feel that it's an issue. As far as my inability to speak with you guys last Monday, unfortunately, I had a prior engagement that I was not able to move due to the short notice of that meeting being scheduled. I would like to point out that that was the first time that this council has chosen to schedule a special meeting to review applicants in this manner. Had I known that that was coming, I would have planned my schedule accordingly. However, I didn't and was not able to accommodate that. I had anticipated that we would have the opportunity during this meeting to address those things. So that's why I'm here speaking with you now rather than last week. So I'd like to address that as well. And finally, before I cede the floor, I think that there are a lot of thoughts and opinions, particularly about the seats on this council and the way that this has all unfolded. And I would like to address a couple of comments that were made earlier in the evening. I think that any sort of insinuation that any of you would be sitting at this dais and voting according to any sort of personal relationship, friendship, whatever you want to call it, in any way other than by voting your heart and what you think is truly best for the town of Mineral is unacceptable. I think that it is insulting for somebody to insinuate that that would be occurring. I think it's insulting to you all as individuals, as council members, and also to the decorum with which this town has striven to operate, in something that being on this council, we have worked to try to change that narrative. And so I would just like to say that regardless of any sort of friendship or personal opinion that you might have of me, I encourage and I implore every single one of you to vote according to who you think is best going to be serving this town moving forward, because that is what the town needs and what these citizens deserve. And with that, I yield the floor.
Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I just want to state that I've been coming to the town meetings, I've been watching a lot, and I've had several opinions and actually became quite frustrated with the council and how it's been conducted. I'm being very fair and very open to everyone here who's probably felt the same at some time during the past 9 months or so. I look forward to seeing the change, and I'm already starting to see the change, and that's very refreshing. I want to continue to be part of that change and be on the council with you and work for this. Again, respect, integrity, trustworthiness, transparency. It all is part of being a successful town and town leadership. We want to make the best of Mineral. We want to watch Mineral grow. I understand that there's a lot going on. I understand I don't know all about the water. I don't understand all the governing yet, but I'm here to learn and be part of it and represent the town with you. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you all candidates.
Can you say everybody's name again? Read it sooner, I got the box now.
The Bob Stebbins.
Stan, Bob Stan.
See, I didn't get sent by a piece of piece. Because Bob's been and
Miss Joanne
Barnard.
Barnard.
Joanne.
Joanne. And then Olivia McCarthy. All right, council, so this is where you have to decide of these three candidates, which one you believe would be the best choice. There's only three of you. My personal opinion, it'd be nice to have a unanimous, but there's democracy, and so with that, I'd like to give everybody an opportunity to select who they think. And basically, I'm going to start with Bernice. Just give me a name, and then I'm going to ask Ron, and then I'm going to ask Dr. Tobit, just kind of an informal.
I think it's not just simply to give you a name.
You're going to also be able to give your comments as to whether you think that individual from your point of view. And then basically, as we hear, then I'll entertain a motion.
Olivia McCarthy.
Okay. Any other comments you want to make?
You said now or afterwards?
Okay.
Olivia McCarthy.
And Dr. Culver.
Joanne.
I'm sorry?
Joanne, are we going to have time to comment on why we're making?
Yes, now we are. And if you want, you can start.
I can start. I regret that this whole thing with Olivia and the lawyer and all that ended up this way. I really do, because she was elected, and I think she does deserve to be on there. And I felt really bad because I was at the center of trying to clarify and getting the lawyer to please look something up. And I know I looked like the meeting, like I don't want her on here, but that's not true. I just wanted us to follow the law. I like Olivia. I have no, choice with, no problem with that. You can see she is being reinstated. So what I'm doing is encouraging Joanna to join us when she can, and encouraging people to join us and, and volunteer and participate in. I think Joanna would make a lovely addition, and, she has an opportunity this fall. She we have an election coming up. And so that's why I'm giving her some confidence here and giving her my vote of confidence. But, Olivia is returning, and I'm glad of that. And it was never my intent for her not to return.
So I know Ms. Von Arp and I had a very long talk over the weekend, and I agree 100% with everything that she said. And I think that if you don't put up signs around this town that say, write in Von Arp, I might make them for you. But I think you would be doing yourself an injustice. And I think you need to be sitting up here with us. I think you have a lot to say in a lot of ways. You're going to be able to help this town. Unfortunately, we're only appointing one seat. And my decision was made based on the fact that she was duly elected to that seat, as I mentioned to you when we spoke. So I hope to see some signs coming up pretty soon. I got a big front yard.
Okay, Bernice.
I also feel that Olivia was duly elected by the people, so if she wishes to, she should finish her term or however long she's got left for the next election. But on the second hand, I think that you would be a great addition to the council. And I think that Mr. Sutton would be a great addition to the council. I think that everyone should, if they wanted to be a write-in, to be a write-in. And I expect to see your signs because you said you were going to do it.
Well, just so you all know, I expect to do a write-in.
And people have successfully won seats with write-ins in this town. It happened. Well, didn't it happen in your year? There was like 5 on it.
Well, we had-
So there's a write-in. You mean you didn't accept or whatever, but it happened.
But there wasn't.
Okay, it has happened.
So based on the conversations, I'll take a motion for the vacant council seat.
Motion to. Do we have to make a motion or vote on it?
Well,
We didn't vote, we just thought.
we talked about now,
So how do we word it as a motion?
just that you're nominating to appoint so-and-so
Okay,
and
motion to nominate Olivia McCarthy back to council.
I would like to second.
okay, I got a motion by Ron to reappoint Olivia McCarthy to the vacant council position, and Dr. Colvett has actually seconded that, and now poll. Yes,
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. McCarthy, I'm not sure whether you gotta go back and get sworn in. I think that's
Yeah, she does.
again for Joanne and Bob. You know, we love having participation with both of you have been in here, both as spectators and stuff, and keeping us honest. And just for the comment that Olivia, you made, is the law changed, and unfortunately, because the law changed, we had to have that special meeting to actually present the
Yeah.
folks that were running for council. That was a neat, it's like July 30th. So. The next section is, we needed to do a resolution to ratify the previous vote on mitigation actions on the mineral development, and we're going to hand off to the town manager to present that.
I think it's in your packet.
Is it? It's in the packet. I didn't see
I
it
think it's in the packet.
unless it's the last.
It's probably the second to last.
Second to last.
I got it.
Maybe.
I got it.
Okay, if you'll read that.
Yep. So the resolution for mitigation agreement for mineral development. Resolution 2024-09. Whereas council voted to allow the town manager to submit an agreement letter to the developer of the 14 lots, whereas under section 70-3A of Minerals Town Code, the town manager shall perform the duties prescribed in the charter and shall exercise general supervision of all of the town's rights, franchises, properties, affairs, and shall perform such other duties and functions as he may be directed to perform by the town council. Whereas the town manager sent an agreement to Sean McCavanagh, general manager of Oakwood Homes, as a part of CMH Homes on September 13th, 2024. Whereas the agreement stated, Oakwood Homes, as a part of CMH Homes, shall provide a road maintenance agreement regarding the above mentioned lots, stating the individual owner shall be responsible for the maintenance of the access roads related to these lots and shall list the details of the road, including paving and patching. Unless the town has to cut the access road, then the town will be responsible for the patching. Second, Oakwood Homes, as a part of CMH Homes, shall pave the access road and cul-de-sac for each access, as well as 7th Street entrance for the houses that are accessed along that end. The third, Oakwood Homes, as a part of CMH Homes, shall install a white vinyl 6-foot fencing with a gate that allows for the town to be accessed from the town side. The fence shall be located on Lot 3 and Lot 18 between Lot 1 and Lot 17 of the town. The town will need to be provided access to the town-owned easement listed on the plats Block 135, Lot 2-16 and 18-32 for maintenance. As a part of this development and with the above moving to completion, the Mineral Town Council will accept and approve Mr. McCavanagh's previous letter of request for crossing the alleyway/easement, and furthermore agree that there are no other violations as to what has been previously approved and what is being constructed. It is therefore resolved by the Council of the Town of Mineral as follows, that the council, after due deliberation, has entered into the agreement with Oakwood Homes as a part of CMH Homes regarding the development of 14 lots. The foregoing resolution was duly adopted by the following vote. Ronald Chapman, yes. Michelle Covert, yes. Robert Spedden, yes. Bernice Cuda, yes. Olivia McCarthy, yes, and Dave Hempstead, no.
Okay. So it just has to be signed.
That has to be signed. The agreement was signed.
Oh.
It's a copy of the code.
It's just a copy of the code.
Okay.
So the agreement was signed by myself and Mr. McCavanagh, and this is just a resolution to have council basically certify that this was done by your approval.
And then it's put into the resolution book,
Yes.
the minutes, the way you do it.
Mr. Lewis, do we need a motion to approve this? Because it's a resolution.
Make a motion.
You can.
Yeah.
But do we have to approve the actual resolution?
It wouldn't hurt.
I motion to approve resolution number 2024-09, resolution and mitigation agreement and development. As presented.
Okay, we have a motion.
Before we go to the vote, though, I do want to point out that the allegation made by Mr. Hempstead that the town council was illegally giving away a town alley, this proves that that is not the case. We are not giving anything away. We're granting access to that land for someone to develop. It's the same as the alley in my backyard. The town lets me mow it, but they can still come in and access the easement that is our max alley. But we are not handing out property willy-nilly.
Okay, I'm looking for a second. Dr. Colbert, second. Bernie? Yes. Yes. Ron? Yes. And Dr. Colbert?
Yes.
Next order of business is the Mineral Planning Commission vacancy. I'm going to actually, if Kiwi doesn't mind, since as you know, he is the chairman of the Planning Commission, if he wants to talk about the vacancy.
Sorry, yes, prior to our, so this is October, prior to our September meeting, Lisa Wade contacted me to advise that due to some issues that she has that she's going through, that she felt a little overwhelmed for her resignation to the varsity. I brought it to the attention of the meeting, and I guess she said we reluctantly accepted it and encouraged her to consider coming back at a later time. We wanted to pass along to you because you appoint the members of the plans that you do. And yes, if you would put a note on it, see if people in the community, town residents, were interested in that position, and seek you all to move expeditiously to provide our. We have 7 members, I believe it is. So we only have 6 at present.
Okay, council, I think we can do that. That's good.
Yeah, we'll put it on the board.
Is there a particular time limit you want us to advertise it?
We have a meeting Tuesday nights. I don't think you can fix it by then.
It's Thursday night.
Yeah, this is Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's vote.
Really does it to you. You can't remember which day it is.
So next month, by next.
I would say put a note, on the boards. I don't believe that you need to make an advertisement of it as far as something that costs you, but it needs to be out on the board out front and
On the website.
that's like for 2 weeks or something.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll put it up
Right around the community, if people could just let that people
They should, in my opinion, do what you want to here. You should be asking them to write about why they're interested, a little background,
We'll need
that sort of thing.
Yeah, we'll come up.
Okay.
Do we have to have
Before we
a?
go into the public hearing, I'm going to turn it to Nicole, where she can give background.
So you're gonna make a motion for us to Post the vacancy.
Can we just do that by consensus?
We just ask you to do it.
Yeah.
We all ask.
Okay, great.
Do that, please.
Sometimes I.
I mean, we tried to write it out on the agenda.
Well, by next month, why don't we all just memorize the Robert's book and then we'll be on top of it.
Okay, Nicole, do you know?
What am I doing?
How about the purchase of property?
So council, has asked that I guess, talk to, Mr. Morgan, who owns the old schoolhouse property about, inquiring about the purchase of property. Mr. Morgan is interested, in selling the property and would like to come up with some type of agreement to do so. He's asking $75,000 for the property. He would like to have $10,000 up front just to help with the removal of junk, to get stuff moved off the property. And then once all that's satisfied, to pay the other 65 to the, to a foundation. I think it's of his mother, to their foundation. So that's where we are with, and talking with his interest in selling that.
Okay, so I'm going to open a public hearing on the school property. And I think you have a list.
I do. Ms. Moon?
Hi again. No, you guys are busy tonight.
Yes, we are.
Doing a good thing. We speculated that it was the old school building because nothing was stated anywhere. A little more transparency going forward would be helpful. I understand that purchasing the property is in your comprehensive plan, and I applaud you for going after it. For as long as I've been attending the town council meetings, Chris Gear has been asking the town to do something about the potentially hazardous and dangerous rubble that's also an eyesore. Sorry, I had a section from Mr. Hempstead that I'm going to leave out. The mayor responded that it was no longer in bankruptcy. Then when it was no longer in bankruptcy, they would reapproach about purchasing it. While I understand acquiring the property is part of the town's comprehensive plan, it is also a high dollar long-term goal for that plan. According to the GIS, the almost 1 acre property is tax valued at $25,000. While I personally, as someone who purchased an old building, believe it would be of value for the town to own the land, the town, in my opinion, is in no way in a position to spend any money. I'm not an accountant, so generally speaking, the 2024 budget was 1.3 million, which included a 29% increase in water and sewer of 400,000, an increase in meals tax of 100,000, real property tax of 121,000, and included revenue from DMV Selects at 500,000. In 2025 budget is 1.5 million that includes a 171 personnel increase, 50,000 from the general fund, and discussions on other spending. Has any grants been won or even applied for to help the town? While the money to buy the property may be reasonable, has the town received any quotes about the cost to remove the rubble, which I heard you, or remediate the oil tank or identify any potential hazardous items? I urge the town council to take a look at what is already being spent or allocated and weigh in with the needs of the citizens of the town. If, however, the council does decide to purchase the property and it's in the best interest of the citizens of this town, I would like to suggest that the property, whatever it becomes, be named after Chris Gear, who was a tireless proponent of cleaning up the property and putting it to use for the town. Thank you.
Thank you.
Blair Nipper, but I think she left.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Von Arp?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, you're good? Okay. Becky McGee?
Not knowing that this is the property, I don't understand why we weren't told that this was the middle school property. We had to speculate. Is there a reason we weren't told? Or it doesn't make sense to me that we
Well,
were.
normally, the answer here is the reason you weren't told is we were in negotiations and we didn't want somebody to write a check and buy it out from under.
Exactly.
Well,
We just didn't want to make it public until we sealed it.
anyway, I think it's a money pit. We don't know what's under there. And 75,000, and then it's gonna take you, who knows, 100,000 to maybe not. I don't know, but we don't know what's under there. So it could really be a money pit. Right now, I think we need to concentrate on our water, our sewage. Those things are more important right now than obtaining that property. Do I think it's an eyesore? Absolutely, it's an eyesore. But at this point, I think we got more important things to spend our money on. I'm seeing the council spend recklessly lately, and we need to start really cutting down and doing something about dig a well. That's what we need. Thank you.
Nancy Thomas.
Nancy Thomas, 44 Louisa Avenue. I had sent a letter earlier in the spring about the property. I have several concerns about it. First of all, it is a terrible eyesore. It's nasty, dirty, that pile, God knows what's in it, under it, around it, whatever. We do know that there's probably problems with the property. We know that the old heater building is there. But it's a piece of property that you see as soon as you ride into the town of Mineral. And as we have seen all around town, people have been buying up land like crazy and developing it. And I sat back, and my husband and I both sat back, and we kept saying, we ought to buy the lot that Mr. Williams bought, building whatever on. And we didn't do it. And I regret it dreadfully. And so I am saying to you that land does not just fall out of the sky. It's a piece of property that's there. It's adjoining the ballpark area. Whether the ballpark stays a ballpark for the rest of our lives, who knows? It does not have to be developed now. It does not have anything that has to be done other than the removal of the trash. That needs to go. And he has said that he would have time to remove that trash from the property, which would be a godsend to all of us, trust me. Anyhow, including Chris, even though they no longer live here. I think that I know that we're concerned about finances. Everybody is. My parents complained about finances when I was growing up. Everybody complains about it. Money is an issue, I understand, but land is valuable. You cannot produce it. It's there, it's adjoining property, it's there by the Whitlock Park. You need to consider purchasing it to preserve the town, have some land. Nothing has to be done to it immediately. It can sit there for 20 years vacant. That doesn't matter. Having possession of it and having control of what goes there or doesn't go there is very important. And obviously, we see as things are built around us that having control over things is important. And I really sincerely hope that you all will consider everything in your possibility, any way that you possibly can. Go ahead and purchase this property and save it for the town of Mineral. It's been a part of the county school system. It's been part of the town for who knows how long. Please, please consider purchasing it. Thank you.
Barbara Wood.
I just need.
You just needed the address, okay. Okay. And the last one is a letter that was dropped off that should be at the end of your packet.
Text here.
Go ahead.
You want me to read it? Okay. Mayor, Mineral Town Council, and Town Manager. I'm writing this as I am not able to attend the meeting due to health concerns. I was surprised to see that the council is holding a public hearing on purchasing property. The property is not identified or stated what it is needed for. This is a public hearing, so what is the reason for not stating what property is involved? Where are the funds coming from for this property? Are they in the budget? There certainly seems to be other projects that need attention that these funds could be used for. The water and sewer system should be a high priority. You have a street corner, 5th and Virginia Ave, that has no street lighting and has been without light for 5 years or more. This is a safety issue. Is purchasing more property a safety issue? By your rules, this cannot be discussed since it is on the agenda before you are asking for approval. I am asking council to reconsider this matter and get the citizens' input prior to taking any action. Doswell Pierce.
Mr. Pierce used to be, you've been around a while. He was council member for a good many years. And so was Dr. Thomas, yes. So, anybody else want to speak on purchase of the school property? Okay. All right, we'll close it. Bring it back to council. What does council, based on what they've heard, going to discuss further on it and
Can we say where we're gonna get the money? Can we share that amongst ourselves with them? You know, I mean, what are we gonna use savings and ready check, or we mortgage, and what is our plan? Is that or is that something so they know? Because that's what we're getting, is where do we get the money? Where do we get the money? And we have the money.
town manager, you control the budget. Any comments you say?
As many of you know, that there's money that was taken out of CDs and put into a interest gaining savings account of some sort. And so this would be an opportunity for us to use a part of that money to fund the purchase of the property for the town.
So the state funds I believe they call it an LRIP, although I could have those initials wrong.
LGIP.
LGIP, where municipalities also certain not-for-profit organizations can put money into, and the state at one point was paying almost 5.5% interest. And so at that particular point, we did move money into that because that was the best interest rate going and stuff like that. So that's where the money's coming. I can't tell you how much is in there because ever since we had a manager, I don't have any part in that anymore. So.
And we've heard a couple of comments about, possible toxins or, damage to the land itself. And there are programs that will remediate that, because that was a problem in the United States all throughout the time that all those schools were built. And, this one imploded during the fire. So the EPA offers matching funds. There's also other routes to get other funding. And so it's not likely that the burden of any remediation to the land or removal of any toxins from the fire or anything would fall on our time. There's likely other sources that will be responsible or paying for that. So that is, I know it's a concern. It's a big one. There is an oil tank down there that maybe we'll have to dig up. But, as far as, some nightmare, of toxins, that is covered by the EPA and other avenues. So we're pretty confident that we're going to have some healthy lands here after we get it cleaned up.
And the reason we didn't pursue that to know what that answer is again, until there's a decision with council to buy it, you can't go and actually apply for funding for super fund cleanups and other types of things that are out there. I think we all know that way back in the day, there was a lot of asbestos that was used around boilers and stuff like that. With that fire, I don't know how much of that is left. The oil tank, now, depending on who you talk to, some say that all the oil was pumped out. But again, I don't know if those individuals that were here back in the day know that to be true or not. And so until you go and get somebody to look into it, we don't know what that answer is.
I think there's some degree of comfort in us buying the land and making sure it gets remediated rather than maybe a developer building it and saying it's remediated and then putting houses on it. And then, we haven't protected you in the way that we really want to.
Can we trust this man when he says he's going to do? Because, he owed us money. And
I think this conversation is pretty.
I don't know. He's not been trustworthy. It's been an on and off thing for years.
So he's put it into writing, and so there's penalties. So I don't know. I never say never because I don't.
And what happens to the 35,000 us? We'll never reduce it.
Yeah. See that.
Yeah, we never see that anyways. We haven't seen that.
Take it off the price.
Now,
Exactly.
Well, the land is probably valued higher than that right now,
Right.
given the market.
All the land and mineral it's really devalued. I mean, if you have any lot, they're gonna, you can have 5 lots. I have 5 lots across the road from me, and it's valued at 25,000.
Well, that's the assessment.
That's
the market.
It's not what I was told.
No, but the market value
is higher.
Is high.
Then you remove the 37,000 he owes us, you get closer to the 75, and we're still getting a bargain.
Serving 5 terms on council. All 5 terms. I have had citizens come to me and say, can't you do something about that?
And now we are.
And I mean, it's just been 5 terms, and that has been a great request of the people who live on that side of town, always. People from outside of the town would come to me and say, when are you going to do something about that? Well, now they say, when are you going to do something about the house down the road from that? But, because they think that's in the town. But this is our time that we were able to help the people that live on that side of town. It's dangerous to be there.
I live over there, so I'm prejudiced, I realize. But I've watched ever since we moved here, I watched him carry stuff in there night after night. That man would come up in there at night. It was full of books. When it burned big because it was full of paper. Tissues went everywhere around the county. I mean, people as far as the power line, they found paper on it. But the church I go to, only 2 of the members of my church actually live in the town of Middle, and every single person that comes to that church that is new to the community, a lot of people from out towards the lake here. Why is that there? What is it? And, there's no explanation. Now, they did find the house, Mr. Williams did tear down that house on the corner, which is a shame it had to be torn down, but that was better than we had. But the land is just disappearing. We can't let something, if I have the money, I don't mind mowing it. I mow everything else is going out there. But there's nothing has to be done to it now. It can sit there for years. Doesn't matter. The town owns it, has something there that they own, that they do something with. You can do something with it. It doesn't.
Is there a purpose that y'all are looking at to do with the land?
I don't think that we have decided any, we just, it was just land, it's just kind of like, right now it's going to be an extension of the park because we don't have anything on it. But, people have suggested community center, people have suggested, a variety of things. We haven't considered anything. We haven't discussed anything because we do it all. Except getting it cleaned up and making it.
It's got to be a purpose.
The purpose is
We can control it. If we really need a Taco Bell, now we have a place.
The comment.
Yes, sir.
Spoken. But hearing the discussion, I'd like to say, on behalf of the planning commission, that it was addressed, this has been brought up by different people, that it's in the comprehensive plan. It is in the comprehensive plan. The planning commission adopted that, the town council adopted that. And a lot of it was the fact that it is an eyesore now, and it is adjacent to Luck Field, which the town owns, even though Little League occupies it and primarily is the user of it. It is owned by the town. And to have that is really to give the opportunity for the town to be able to control what goes on there, like Mrs. Thomas said. And if you don't, somebody can want it. And it might be something else not conducive with what is going on there. It could be left for 20 years and probably just be a parking lot. That would help the Little League. It would also help the Whitlock Family Park that's right across the street. If you do that, no cost hardly to that at all. So I don't think that you can determine what the cost of cleanup is going to be because you don't know what cleanup would be necessary. But to let it get away would violate your comprehensive plan and would not be looking, in my opinion, forward to trying to see that it gets used. You all get to decide what it gets used for, public purpose in an area where you now have a park on one side, a park on the other. The park that's there does not have the parking spaces, and it could be used for that to alleviate the parking issue, nothing else.
Well, I agree with you. And again, if we purchase this, then we will at some point get public input as to what we want to use that piece of property for. I would also remind you, just again, not that I have any inside information, as you know, the county's building 4 new ball fields right out on 33. So what's happening in Luck Field may or may not stay around because Little League folks would go to the new fancier ball field. And so this would give us, again, citizens an opportunity to redevelop that whole section if that is what the residents want. So if we don't buy it, I'm sure that somebody else is going to buy it, and once they own it, then they'll have to go through the administrator to determine what's allowed and what's not allowed, and then coming into that town of Mineral, who knows what you'll have there. Just saying. If property, I've lived here only 25 years, and up until COVID, maybe 4 or 5 houses were all that was built here. And in the last couple of years, it's like crazy. Somebody's giving away free land. It's just unbelievable. So
But we, think about it. And in January, bring your ideas, and then you should have, because there's a feedback for that.
yeah, so bringing it back to council, you've heard the citizens, you've heard the email/letter. So obviously, we need to decide whether we're going to move forward and approve it or deny it, and that's up on council to decide.
I make a motion to approve or to deny, that we vote to approve or deny. No, that we vote to approve, but you can second.
All right, so Dr. Conway has made a motion to authorize the town manager to
Purchase
the
old school property that we've discussed.
okay.
I'm sure there's some technical term for it, but.
And I had a second from Bernice Brady. And Ron, your vote?
Yes, we could say NERC for me.
Next,
Okay, it's 3-0. I think we've already gone over the calendar of upcoming events with, the comment that next month, the next meeting will be November 12th, which is the
Tuesday.
which is a Tuesday. And council comments, if anybody has any comments, we do need to go into executive session for the purposes of reviewing the two attorneys' resumes and that conversation under. Yes, we can take a 5-minute break.
You on? Well, do they?
We'll take 5 minutes from.
And I have been working on. And look how beautiful.
Okay. It's very good meeting.
But yeah, she was very really relaxed and calm, and she tried to make it, she really put out an effort to, be nice about what she said. I mean, for her.
Okay.
Okay. Are you all ready?
Baby steps.
Come on.
Okay, in accordance with section.
Recording.
She's gone. In accordance with section 2.2-3711A1 of the Code of Virginia, I move that the town council convene a closed meeting to consider a personnel matter involving the employment of an attorney.
Okay. Motion by Ron. Second by Bernice. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
You used to record that.
Clarify my requested by the vice mayor in this closed session. Just wanted to confirm that everybody is on the same page.
Yeah, you should be looped in because you are going to be, you should have this information.
Yeah, I think, no, it makes sense.
Don't you think?
Just making sure everybody.
I just want to make sure you're comfortable with it, but we think you should. No.
I'm comfortable with it. I just want to make sure everybody's on the same page.
All right.
Okay, I will pause this now.
Okay, so we're, got a motion to come back into session.
Okay. I move that council certify that in closed session just concluded, nothing was discussed except the matter specifically identified in the motion to convene in closed session and lawfully permitted to be discussed under the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act cited in that motion.
Dr. COVID?
Aye.
That's Bernice Cuby. Okay. And, we have a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Look, Bernice is seconding, and the word even made.
Thank you very much, folks, and all I can say is thanks for your due diligence on this. I'm sorry we had to do what we did, but I feel like we gave ample opportunity.
Yeah, I think you misunderstood when you get to the point of order and are we stuck on that?
Are we going?
No,
I haven't.
They voted.
Okay.
Virginia.
I wish he could have.
Okay, hold on.